Good morning, friends. I hope you're having a great day. It is still kind of gray out here. I, it's the middle of December in the north, and normally we have snow, and there's no snow, and it's like 40 degrees. So it's very strange today. But I hope you're doing well. Today, we are just going to quickly cover wheelchair rental and accessibility in Universal Studios Florida. That includes Islands of Adventure. Just so you're aware, if you've never been to Universal and Islands of Adventure, and I was not aware of this, they really are together the size of, I would say, one large Disney park. So think of maybe Animal Kingdom, and the two of them collectively are the size of that. Now, again, I could be way off, but just the walking for people that don't have mobility issues wasn't nearly what it would be if you were walking Epcot all day at Disney. So it's a little easier on the legs. As far as mobility and wheelchair rentals at Universal, they have three main wheelchair rental places in the parks. There is one at the front of Universal Studios. When you walk in, it is, I believe, off to the left, and you'll see it. They rent the motorized wheelchairs, regular push wheelchairs, and also strollers there. It is first come, first serve basis. So if you show up, when we got our wheelchair, we didn't know we were going to need it right at the beginning of the day, which is a whole nother thing. um, but they were already out of the electric wheelchairs, which was fine because we weren't going to get one. But the push wheelchairs are $15, and you have them for the day. You can return it to either side. That's fine. What is different about Disney than them, just so you're aware, if you're going to do both, is that Universal takes a deposit on top of the wheelchair. So you have the $15 wheelchair fee that will just be charged to your card, and then they take another additional $25 and just hold it in case you don't return the wheelchair. That being said, if you are staying at a Universal hotel and you are using the boats to get back to your hotel, you have to leave the wheelchair at the park. All right. Or there is, I guess, a place in City Walk, but it's not very helpful to drop it off there. You cannot bring it down to the boat dock. I mean, you could, but there's no guarantee you'll get your deposit back. I was told this when I went to guest relations. So we did not bring the wheelchair down to the boat, and we had quite a negative experience getting our daughter down to the boat without the wheelchair. I mean, we made it work, but it definitely added some stress to our day. So just be aware that if you rent the wheelchair in the park, that you cannot take it down to the boat, or you can take it down to the boat, but there's no guarantee you're going to get your $25 that they're holding off to the side. So just know that. Like I said, they do have electric chairs and they have strollers there. I did see the electric chairs all around the park. Some had little canopies, some did not. That is, the canopy chair is a little more expensive than the non-canopy chair. But again, they have them at three areas in the park. What I found interesting was that, so they have a rental place at the front of Islands of Adventure, one at the front of Universal Studios, and then they have one when you get off on the Hogwarts Express over in King's Cross Station. And the thought of that was very handy. So just be aware that if you're in the middle of the park and you have an issue and someone in your party, I don't know, they twist their ankle, something happens, or like my family, you have someone that may or may not need a chair, and it just depends on their medical situation for the day, that you may not have to walk all the way up to the front of one of the parks. Again, the parks aren't huge, so the walk up front to get a chair in the middle of the day isn't bad, but just know that King's Cross is there as well to rent a chair as long as they have them. Again, it's first come, first served basis. Additionally, so with the wheelchairs, there are chairs, they're considered transfer chairs. or ride chairs at the front of the lines for most rides. If the ride allows for a person to transfer from a wheelchair into the ride vehicle, there will be transfer chairs there. Those chairs are meant for people that either one reason or another just need a chair. They can't stand in the line. Um, Something maybe just happened, or they have an electric wheelchair and they need to transfer into a push chair. Most of the rides in Universal, actually all of them except I believe one ride, which is Hogwarts Express, maybe there's two rides, um, they don't make you transfer to get through the queues. Everyone else does. So you'll have to transfer from your electric chair to a push chair to go through the line. The queue line, a lot of the queue lines are very tight and very curvy, which again, it's sad because Universal's theming is amazing, but there and it could it the my experience, again, this is just my experience with the handicap accessible mobility issues, not ideal. I'll just say not ideal. Okay. So just, I would never discourage someone from going. You just need to be aware before you go of what you're dealing with. And I didn't do enough research initially. It's my fault on this. But that being said, the queues are kind of twisty turny. So just be aware that if you have a person in your party that needs to transfer into a push chair, they that someone has to be able to push them. Also, most of the rides require a family member or person in the party to help the person transfer from the chair into the ride. Not like Disney, how sometimes they'll help you. That I will say, one of my experiences, the people on the ride helped us, but everyone else, it was kind of you had to get the person in, you had to help the person out. So just be aware that cast members are there. They are short staffed right now because of the great unpleasantness, but a lot of that transferring does fall onto the family, which is fine. Again, most families are more used to it anyway, but just good to know, right? So that being said, we did run into a few cute issues, and I'm going to go ride by ride, particularly the rides that were really excellent, with wheelchairs and mobility issues, and then the rides that really were not good. And there was really only one ride that was just not good at all. But I will do that in a later video. So wheelchair accessibility, again, $15. You have it all day. Do not bring it down to the boats unless you don't want to be guaranteed your deposit back. As far as ride vehicles, if you are unsure, the ride vehicles at Universal are very cool. They're not like standard like rides that they have different shapes, different sizes. But I will say that it is probably best practice to check out if there's a person in your party that is concerned they may not fit. They all have the ride vehicles outside in front of the rides, and you just can have a moment to sit down in the ride, pull the restraint down or pull the restraint up to see if you'll fit in. You'll know you fit in if it turns green. I will say that my husband is quite tall, and there were a few rides that were very uncomfortable for him. He could technically ride them, and he did, and he fit in just fine, but they were kind of smushy. So I'm short. I don't have that problem, but I know some folks too, pending your medical issues, may be uncomfortable with the shape of the ride vehicle. So they, before you stand in a 90-minute line, find those tester seats, sit down, try them out. That way you know if you're going to be comfortable, because there's nothing worse than standing in the line just to find out the ride's not going to work for you, or you can fit in it, but it's a horrible experience. You don't want that. No one wants that. So know that those are there. As far as parking your electric vehicles while you are in a transfer chair, there are areas at each ride where you can do that. The best thing to do is to ask a team member, and they'll be able to tell you where to park that. because it differs for each ride, just like strollers, right? So, um, that would be the best thing to do there is just ask your attendants. Hopefully this was helpful, and, I look forward to talking to you later. Probably do a second video today as well. Have a great day. Talk to you later. Bye.